When I first started playing Nintendo games, I would really enjoy watching the opening credit scenes and getting an idea of what the story of the game was going to be like. Sometimes the game would just drop you right into the adventure and not give you much to go on. Other games would give you a better detail of how your player character got to where they are. But sometimes I'd wonder, is there more to their story than just what's in the game? This is where Worlds of Power came in and answered those questions for 10 classic NES games. The Worlds of Power books were a series of novelizations of games on the NES released in the early 90s by a company called Scholastic. Other than giving background stories or alternate adventures of the game's protagonists, the Worlds of Power books would also give us hints to the games, often printed upside down at the end of chapters. Some of the books even had removable trading cards. There were 8 main books in the series and then 2 junior edition books. In the main series, you had Blaster Master, Metal Gear, Ninja Gaiden, Castlevania II: Simon's Quest, Wizards and Warriors, Bionic Commando, Infiltrator, and Shadowgate. The 2 books in the junior series were Bases Loaded 2 and Mega Man 2. Shadowgate was the only World of Power book I personally owned, and it is actually titled Before Shadowgate. The book actually ends with you being teleported via magic to the front door of Castle Shadowgate, right where your 8-bit NES adventure begins. The producer of the Worlds of Power series, Seth Godin, said he was inspired by a conversation with his nephew. His nephew told him he didn't like to read because he never found it enjoyable and didn't feel that there were any books that he could relate to. The flip side of that is that Seth's nephew was big into Nintendo, and this sparked the idea for Seth to create a series of books based on the latest best-selling NES adventures. Seth didn't really get any help from the actual video game companies that license games with Nintendo, so he created a template to structure how the books would be written. He recruited additional authors and would give himself the pen name FX9. Seth said he chose this pen name because when the bookstores would arrange their inventories, the Worlds of Power books would be placed right next to other Nintendo books and magazines due to the first 3 letters of the last name of his pen name, N-I-N. I found out that one of the best-selling or most popular book out of the series was the one for Ninja Gaiden. The writers had taken the liberty to keep Ryu's father alive at the end of the book and have them reunite after the final battle. Another thing I learned about the Worlds of Power books is that they were heavily censored. The production team omitted anything that was deemed too violent or dangerous. They took Ryu's dagger from his hand on the Ninja Gaiden book cover, Solid Snake isn't holding his gun, and they took Mega Man's gun out of his hand. Hell, they even dulled the tip of the gargoyle's tail on Shadowgate and removed Dracula altogether from Simon's Quest. In the stories of these books, no major violence was inflicted on humans or animals. The monster bosses and Blaster Master were holograms. Solid Snake only used his guns to pistol whip enemies, and in Bionic Commando, the protagonist's gun shoots stun bullets to incapacitate enemies, or he would just karate chop them. They also took out anything that was deemed too magical and anything that referenced the occult from Shadowgate and Simon's Quest. You know, it's been a long time since I've read Before Shadowgate, but now I'm curious to go back and see what was removed. These edits were all made at the request of the publishing company Scholastic, and I'm sure since Seth was eager to get his books published, he had to adhere to their guidelines. But ultimately, Seth accomplished what he set out to do. He got young kids to enjoy reading and used some amazing NES adventures as the catalyst. As a kid, I loved reading, and of course, I loved my NES, so these Worlds of Power books were definitely in my wheelhouse. The problem was, I never saw them at any book fairs or bookstores growing up. My Shadowgate book was a gift from my cousin, and I think he had his mom buy it for me on a whim. Of course, nowadays you'll have to get online or hit up a flea market to find them. They can be costly, but if there's something you want as a part of a special collection, then they may be worth it. Nintendo Power Magazine is usually the first thing that comes to everyone's mind when you think of any Nintendo-related item in print. But this small collection of stories from Worlds of Power was special in its own right. I also wanted to let you know at the time I was preparing this video, I was able to get a hold of many more of the Worlds of Power books, and I'm hoping to share their stories with you in the near future. Do you own any of the books from the Worlds of Power collection? Or are you thinking about adding them to your Nintendo collection? Let us know in the comments below. I'd love to read about them. And thanks for watching.